My name is Lori Baldwin, and I'm a performance artist and actress, and I'm originally from the US, from North Carolina. But I've been living in Europe for the past 10 years, kind of all over, and in Berlin for the past 2.5. So I would say that artistically I deal with a lot of different themes and subjects, so it really depends on the project. Performance-wise, one underlying thread is a desire to break the normal relationship between audience and performer and to create something that really connects. So for me, performance is a tool through which I can connect with people in ways that I otherwise couldn't. So I start each project with kind of the question of, okay, what's the connection, what's the relationship here? What kind of experience do I want to create for an audience member? And then it goes from there. So within my performances, within my live performances, there's definitely no third wall. I prefer having a quite direct relationship to the audience where maybe it's not interactive where they actually have to do something, but there is a knowledge and an awareness and a gratitude for them being there, and kind of knowing and appreciating that if they weren't there, the piece wouldn't be happening. It wouldn't make any sense. So I think there's a kind of respect for the audience that I start with my work. So that's kind of the base layer. And then from there I can go in many different directions. So I guess in general I like to create work that is entertaining but also politically relevant, and that has some kind of socio-political underpinning, that it's asking some kind of question that I find important for us to ask or to consider, to think about right now. But at the same time, I think it's really important to make work that is entertaining, that people feel something, so that there's a gateway into getting into people's minds is through their emotions. So whether that's through making them laugh or making them feel that something's beautiful or making them feel sad, this is kind of the channel. And I think I also have a kind of holistic feeling towards my being as a performer. So it's my body, it's also my voice, it's also very much my mind. And mind both in like needing a strong conceptual underpinning to what I'm doing, and also wanting to be sharp so that I can respond in the moment. And I really like, especially in any live performance, I like having a frame and a structure and then a lot of room to play in, where I can like respond to the reality of the moment and to the circumstances and to the audience members who are there with me. The life of a freelance artist in Berlin is always a roller coaster, period. It's going to be. I mean, I think in general people's lives can be roller coasters, and I'm not saying that we have a monopoly on the roller coaster of life, but it's intense, and you have really high highs with amazing projects where you're like, oh my god, I'm doing it, I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing, and then you have maybe a month where you're just kind of waiting and thinking and mulling and writing applications, and it's tough. And I would say Corona just intensified the roller coaster, and it added another hitch in the plan. But I also feel like as a freelance artist, you develop a resilience and ability to be flexible and just be like, okay, this is the new circumstance. Let's work within the circumstance. And I should also preface all of this with saying I'm an optimist. I'm like an undying optimist. I can't help it. And so even when I get quite down, it'll last for a bit of time, and then I'll be like, well, it's gonna be fine. Like the next thing will come. Like I can't not be optimistic, even during a pandemic, which is sometimes feels really strange. It follows one of the 4 horsemen, Death, who has decided that she doesn't really feel like ushering in the apocalypse, and she'd rather take a break, set up shop in Berlin, and host a cabaret. And her kind of reasoning for not wanting to bring in the apocalypse is that she doesn't know what happens after, because it's unprecedented. No one knows what comes after the end. And so in this core question of the performance, we're also dealing with this deep fear that I think a lot of people have, which is a fear of change and a fear of the unknown. And so, what comes after the end? What comes in the next step? What comes in the new age? So, I mean, it's still just a concept. It's a work in progress. I'm working together with an opera singer and a performer named Erin Reeder. So we developed the concept together. So we're kind of spearheading the project. So I would say on a more global level, or even community level, I would be amazed and would love to see a world and a society that is increasingly more open-minded and forgiving and empathetic and kind to each other, and also a society that strives for justice and the righting of historic wrongs and the owning of our collective shit and the ability to heal together. I mean, it's a very utopic kind of imagination, but I find that as an artist, I have to believe that change is possible, because otherwise, what am I doing?